Guys, corruption is everywhere. I mean, everywhere. The foreign minister of Ukraine just resigned because of $100 million embezzlement scandal. And it may not have been the foreign minister, it was something like that. It was a high level guy, the negotiator for the peace deal. um, Mike Brown, who was the local county judge for years, I think he's retired now. I know him and he knows me, but we're not really friends, but we're not hostile to one another. The county judge doesn't really rule in court. He handles legal technicalities like wills and stuff. Not really sure exactly what, but he presides over the county commissioners too at their meetings. But his wife embezzled a bunch of money from a charity, you know. And a lot of times the women are involved in embezzlement, stealing money on paper, because they're kind of put in charge of in administrative bookkeeping stuff. There's a little farming town near San Angelo called Wall, and the Wall Co-op gin got caught with their hand in the cookie jar big time, and a lady took the fall, but I think some of the farmers were involved too, and it had to do with you get a government check for the cotton that you don't plant, or for the cotton that fails. If you buy the government cotton insurance, based on what the crop would have been, and they lied about what the crop would have been by taking production figures from other farms that weren't really the farm they were collecting the cash on, and stuff like that. You can see how it fits Jesus' prayer, lead us not into temptation, because when you see how easy it is to steal, very tempted to do it. This was big. This was millions. This lady was spending money on. Anyway, it got really blatant. People do it, and this is how it's easy to get people to betray their country by offering them money. I didn't realize how easy it was, but I've kind of read up on it. And the Russians offer some guy money who's not really that loyal to the United States, and bingo, All right, wanted to mention that, and I wanted to mention to you the reason I have authentic friends is because I'm authentic, because I bust my ass to be authentic. Now, look, I can still joke around about the truth, okay, about temptation and stuff. Now, I'm certain people couldn't joke around with Granddaddy. I tried it one time. I said, how are things at Kelly Acres? And that's the cabin in Colorado. Pappy, whose name was Warren Kelly, he called it Kelly Acres because he loaned Granddaddy and Mimi the money to buy it. He thought it was his, and he called it Kelly Acres. Pissed Granddaddy off. Pappy did that at his 90th birthday party, and Granddaddy was fuming. And I think he got money out of his retirement and paid Pappy off so he could call it his, not Kelly Acres. That chest puffing stuff. Granddaddy was not in error here. Pappy was. Okay, and that's not embezzlement. That's just bullshit. But my point there being was, Granddaddy didn't tease very well. People in business tease all the time. They tease on purpose. Almost, they cross the line a lot too in business, just gouging you. But Robert Alexander, his son is Ben Alexander, and y'all may remember Ben or Claire or Annie, his kids, through his first marriage. But his second marriage, his wife Amber has a gorgeous daughter who just got a divorce. And Conley Brooks, my friend, said, I think Amber's daughter's getting a divorce. Have you seen her? She's gorgeous. No, yeah, I've seen her. But you're too damn old for her. Don't you even think about it. I was messing with him. Who says I'm too old? He just mouthing off like men, but not getting crude, And, okay, being playful with each other. So I'm that way with Conley. Now, Conley got me to help this guy put the waterproofing on his roof at his house, at his ranch. It's a flat roof. It's a new house. It's got very little slope to it. And those kind of roofs are always trouble because they've always got a puddle of water here and a puddle of water there, and that water rots the roof and then it starts leaking. You want a roof with a good slope on it where it'll never have a damn puddle on it. But flat roofs and even these low slope roofs, they have puddles. But I helped this guy. And as you're helping somebody and working with them, you get to know them. And that's why it would be good if Brandon and I or Calvin and I or Marshall and I worked together on something. And years ago, I suggested, Marshall, if you need to work on a fence, call me. Let me come up there and help you. Because working with people is where you get to know them and you get to be playful and stuff, rather than sitting there watching a movie or a football game. Okay, so working with Jason Payne, he told me about the sibling rivalry between his daughter and his son, and he said he took his son out coyote calling, and that his son didn't shoot any coyotes, and that he himself killed 3 just because of the way they were situated, and the coyotes came from Dad's direction, not the son's direction. And by the time you switch around and and everything, the coyotes are going to be gone. When you have a shot, you got to take it, or they'll be gone. It's just Marshall knows that. So his son was madder than a hornet. So, after I heard that story the next day, I said, Jason, I can't believe you're such a mean dad that you shot all 3 of those coyotes and didn't let you with me. He was shaking his head, and I made it clear, I'm just needling you, I don't mean it. And he got it. So the sibling rivalry between his daughter and his son, he told us some of those stories. And his dad, Jason's dad, was there, who's having heart surgery this week, who had a bad hip, who walked with a cane, et cetera, et cetera. But it was good time for me. It was good God time for me with authentic people. So Jason's dad was the granddad who took some fishing and takes some hog hunting and stuff. I said, the granddad was telling me about the competitiveness between the 2 kids, the daughter and the son, his grandkids, fishing. And that when the dad got one on the line and handed the pole to his son, that the daughter said, "That doesn't count." And I sent him a link to that Legolas Gimli deal in Return of the King. That still only counts as 1. He loved it. And I'm going to paste his reply up on the screen for you to see it. This is authenticity, and it's loving people playfully, but facing the truth. There is sibling rivalry, and you don't, Oma never worked it out in her kids. She knocked them around and made us kiss and make up, and you wanted to hit the son of a bitch, David. And she empowered David and all this screwed up stuff. Protected, empowered, and nothing ever got worked out. But my point is, to navigate it in a healthy way, so that when they look back, they'll see it as a healthy way. Difficult, but healthy. And I think that's what they're doing. And Jason says his daughter's kind of getting where she doesn't even care about hunting much anymore, but the boy does. She's 11. She's going to be in puberty pretty soon. She's going to be thinking about lipstick. Go get him.